with Mohamed Makkawy, an Egyptian bodybuilder who had found success at the 1975 IFBB Mr. Universe contest, but had never improved enough to capitalise on his win. And help, Mohamed soon began chasing his enormous potential, and following an improved diet and heavier weight workouts, Mohamed entered the last three IFBB Grand Prix finals of 1981, only to once again bomb out. Viewing him on stage, many critics thought Mohamed's comeback was another of those flash in the pans. But after hosting his recent seminar, Ken declared, "There's only one guy in this world who can transform Makkawy, and that's Gironda." With everyone on board, Mohamed made the trek to Studio City 2 weeks before the 1982 Atlantic City Pro Contest, and training alongside Hollywood stars Eric Estrada and Marty Feldman, photographer Chris Lund was left quietly thinking, just what can Vince do in 2 weeks that Makkawy can do in 5 years? It's now bodybuilding history that Mohamed Makkawy was easily the new sensation at the show, catapulting himself into the top 6 bodybuilders in the world by finishing 4th. Ken implemented Mohamed's training via Vince over the phone and sent Mohamed to train personally with Vince once again 3 weeks prior to the 1983 New York Night of Champions. Primarily focusing on his leg development, Mohamed emerged a completely different physical specimen, and although in the end he didn't compete, he guest posed in amazing condition. Riding this wave of success, the Magic Egyptian teamed up with the Wheeler and Gironda team to take on the 1983 IFBB Mr. Olympic contest, held in Munich, Germany, and the IFBB Grand Prix contest held in the following week in Zurich, Sweden and London. Placing second in the Olympia and winning all 3 Grand Prix, Mohamed claimed 6 first place and 1 second place wins in 1 year, by far the best any professional bodybuilder had ever done at the time. Vince accompanied Makkawy to the IFBB Pro World Championships in Atlantic City, where Mohamed outclassed the other competitors, especially during his posing routine to Chariots of Fire, which Vince had helped choreograph. As Vince watched his protege go through his posing, tears welled up in his eyes. He rose to his feet and matched the Egyptian pose for pose, and then realising he could be more of a help if he applauded and shouted his approval, he did just that. As his pupil concluded his routine, the Iron Guru's tears broke loose and flowed freely, until Mohamed left the stage to rapturous applause, shouts and whistling. After the show, both Mohamed and Vince were surrounded by enthusiastic fans who wanted their picture taken with the winners. When asked what Vince thought of Makkawy now he'd won 3 pro shows in a row, he took a long hard look, smiled and said, "The kid gonna be great when he learns to pose." Mohamed competed in the 1984 and 1985 IFBB Mr. Olympia contests and was defeated by Lee Haney, subsequently retiring from competition. Vince was gracious in his influence on Makkawy and always held him in high regard, stating he wasn't totally responsible for his physique transformation. Ken Wheeler had kept an eye on his training, David Roxander and Magdalena Popper from Canada's National Ballet had helped with posing transitions and music interpretation, and Vince had worked on his weak spots, show areas and posing, with Mohamed putting in the true training effort. In later years, Mohamed would reflect that Vince was not his trainer and had no part in his success, stating a couple of short friendly visits to Vince's gym were written up and translated by third-grade magazines when he was just learning English. Being a world champion Olympic lifter in Egypt before he stepped foot in North America, he asked why would he need help from a bodybuilding failure like Vince? Feeling what was written about him and Vince was a fraud, committed by people who benefited financially, and no longer wishing his name to be associated with Vince in any capacity, Mohamed reiterates that none of what was published was ever seen, authorised or approved by him at any time.